If your team runs MindsDB, PapersGPT for Zotero, or Red Hat multi-cluster management, check exposure and patch status today. The lead issue is CVE 2026-73678 in MindsDB Minds platform. NVD lists it as critical, CVSS 10.0, with unauthenticated remote code execution impact. The immediate defensive action is to upgrade to a fixed release when available, keep the platform API away from untrusted networks, and review secrets that may be reachable from affected desktop or server instances. This matters because AI tooling is increasingly connected to local files, notebooks, credentials, model settings, and developer workflows. A vulnerability in an AI assistant or data platform is not just an application bug. It can become a shortcut to SSH keys, environment secrets, documents, and internal systems available to the user running that software. The second AI-related issue is CVE 2026-73032 in PapersGPT for Zotero 0.6.1. NVD rates it critical, CVSS 9.6. The risk is remote code execution from unsanitized LLM output in a privileged Zotero extension context. For defenders, the point is not to test payloads. The point is to treat AI responses and custom model endpoints as untrusted input. Update the extension from the upstream project, disable it where a fix is not deployed, and be cautious with research PDFs or model endpoints that are not trusted. The third issue is CVE 2026-73278 in Red Hat multi-cluster engine, specifically the cluster curator controller component. NVD lists it as critical, CVSS 9.9. A tenant with permission to create or update cluster curator resources can escalate through an injected job specification and run with elevated controller privileges. In Kubernetes and OpenShift-style environments, that can put cluster-wide secrets and administrative control at risk. Here is the defensive checklist. First, inventory where MindsDB, PapersGPT for Zotero, and multi-cluster engine components are installed. Second, patch or remove affected versions, starting with Internet exposed, shared, or administrator-used systems. Third, restrict network access to local AI platform APIs and management controllers. Fourth, review least privilege for service accounts, extension permissions, and cluster resource creation rights. Fifth, rotate credentials if logs or endpoint exposure suggest the vulnerable component may have been reachable by untrusted users. CVEs was checked during this run, but the public feed returned an HTTP 403 from this environment, so today's prioritization is based on NVD and vendor or project advisories linked in the description. This briefing is defensive only, no proof of concept code, no exploit commands, and no attack chain instructions. Use the links below to validate affected versions and patch status in your own environment.